Recently, and by recently I mean earlier today, I discovered a robin's nest within easy access of viewing. To do that, I'm using the cheapest camera I could find from Home Depot on short notice. With me having paid $25 with some kind of a promotional discount that was being applied at the time, I can only assume that the mention of OG after the Wyze, I guess denoting this model, refers to this being probably an older, possibly legacy style, yet upgraded at the same time version of their cameras. Just like how the iPhone SEs are more or less a glorified iPhone 7, just with some enhancements under the hood. This has color night vision, which is actually prominently displayed and advertised on the rear of the box, which fortunately gives you a color image in low lighting as opposed to most other cameras which fall back to just black and white infrared. Indoor-outdoor rated, USB cable, has an indoor power adapter, which is a USB adapter, wall plate, mounting screws, wall anchors, a quick start guide, and of course the requirement of using the Wyze app to configure and access this camera. 1080p Full HD, IP65 weather-resistant rating, 24/7 recording, two-way audio, an integrated spotlight. I was surprised to see that, and some other things like motion and sound detection, and of course even more features which are behind a paywalled subscription. Here's the main star of the show, the camera. Microphone's this little pinhole here, little status light which alternates depending on what it's doing, LED spotlight which I'm actually surprised by its brightness, the camera's lens, speaker for the two-way audio, the permanently fixed power connection which is micro USB, and here is that 6-foot-long USB cable which is of decent quality from the feel of it, and the USB adapter, which doesn't seem as incredibly chintzy and cheap as most of the ones that you get with electronics bundled in the box. Now I noticed that on the box there is a mention that you need the outdoor power adapter for outdoor use. I don't know what they're talking about. I guess if you don't have an outlet that's weather resistant. Now thankfully I don't need that power adapter because where this camera will be going will be an easy access to an outdoor rated outlet with a cover on it that I can use this adapter with and still have it be properly and adequately protected from the rain and the elements. It does come with this little stand that screws into the bottom. The screw that this uses is a non-standard size. It's not like what you would find on a tripod. I have this little thumb screw to tighten the stand to the base of the camera. It can also record to MicroSD cards without the need for the Cam Pro subscription, and this can support a maximum MicroSD card of 256 gigabytes. There's also a setup button here which is used according to the quick start guide for entering into configuration and setup mode. Initial configuration and setup of the camera is done through the Wyze app. This app is compatible with versions of iOS going all the way back to iOS 14, so since this phone's running iOS 15, I'm in the clear. So I actually had everything configured off camera, but now I need to move the camera outdoors, and because it's outdoors, it's going to be a different Wi-Fi network that this camera will connect to permanently. And the way in which you have to do that and change the Wi-Fi connection of the camera is by deleting it and now reconfiguring it. So the light on the camera should start flashing. Press setup on the camera, which is what I will do right now. I'm going to have to venture to the other side of the room, but you'll probably be able to hear it say ready to connect after I press the setup button. Ready to connect. Okay, it said ready to connect, and gotta love having a phone that has a cracked screen that chooses when it wants to cooperate. And this is the point at which we select which network we're going to use. You can't use 5 gigahertz, but that's okay in my case. Alright, well the camera just said connecting to network. I didn't catch it on camera, but you probably hear in the background saying that it's connected. It's talking to us, and I'll name this backyard camera. Click finish. Here we go, the upsell to Cam Plus, and that's it. We are ready to go now and watch our stream. In this case I have it pointing at the wall, and it's even giving us a play-by-play here of recent events that were triggered by motion or sound. Oh yeah, for mounting the camera to your wall, it also comes with this little plate here that you can use. You just mount this up to the wall, run the 2 screws in there, make sure it's oriented the correct way, and then hook this in just like that. And I didn't exactly follow their instructions on wall mounting or ceiling mounting. I just used zip ties to, zip tie it to a temporary pole in the ground that is just the perfect height for getting a good bird's eye view, no pun intended, of the bird's nest. And it's only temporary, but yeah, that'll work for now. Clicking this will bring you to the camera's live stream, which you can then rotate your phone to view in the horizontal orientation. There's a number of controls during live streaming. Clicking the little gear cog brings you to the settings page for the camera itself. A little orientation button here for switching between horizontal and vertical viewing. A button down here for triggering the camera's built-in LED light to turn on. And you can leave that on permanently or turn that off as you need it in the app. If you want to talk to your camera, you just press the microphone button. And I can talk right to the camera. Likewise, pressing the speaker button will monitor audio from the camera. Have a date stamp here. Some more controls accessible through that little three dot icon, like your SD card, viewing files off of it, taking a photo, recording video. This will be stored locally to the iPhone. Triggering the siren to come on. You do time-lapse recording, and you could turn the camera off. And then this thing over here is some kind of a picture-in-picture. If you have multiple cameras, I'm assuming. When you're not viewing the live stream in full screen, you also get this little summary of events that have taken place that are either triggered by motion detection or sound detection. It'll give you an icon telling you which of the two it is. If there's more events than can fit on this screen, you could just click all events, and it gives you a little calendar view here. You can filter it by motion, cameras, and because I haven't paid for the subscription, the only thing I get are still photos, and it looks like it's a video, but if you press play, it just tells you that you have to begin a trial and eventually pay for that subscription. What I do like is, for example, I can go ahead and I'll do schedule, and then I could set a start time and an end time, days of the week, and then if you go to action, you go to your camera, there's all these different things that you can configure. For example, turning the camera on and off, motion detection, notifications, or something that I like and will probably put to use once I use this camera elsewhere and recycle it after the birds have moved on to bigger and better things, is turning the spotlight on for a preset amount of time, or turning it on and then setting it up to turn off. Finally have an excuse to use night shot on this camera. You can see the infrared LEDs are nice and bright, lighting up the whole area. And if I go ahead and switch that off on the camera now, all we see are 4 faint red glowing LEDs. Something else I should mention is that you can turn off in the settings the little status light, which again will change colors depending on what the camera is doing. I have that turned off. So this is recording with that spotlight turned on, and all we have to shed some light on the situation is the built-in spotlight, and it's actually very bright. There's a better view of it, and again, it's bright enough to where it doesn't need to turn on its infrared, and we still retain color night vision abilities. Well, this is quite fortuitous. I actually heard about this on Reddit. 2 weeks free of Cam Plus. Go ahead and glue claim free offer and select the camera. Whoops. Says it'll be enrolled in a free trial, no payment required. That is very surprising. You don't have to put a credit card in. Like the now defunct Staples Easy Button used to say, that was easy. Fortunately, because of the free 14-day trial of their Cam Plus service, you get all this fun stuff like back-to-back recordings that are stored in the cloud, sound-triggered alerts, AI-enhanced detection, and something that you don't get with the free plan, unfortunately, that you do with the Cam Plus $1.99 a month per camera plan, is their Wyze WebView service, which is accessible by going to view.wyze.com, which then takes you to this login page where you can log in with your Google account or your email address and password. And here we are watching our Wyze camera on our PC, something I didn't think was possible. And it gives you this little preview here. You could pause it, turn sound on or off, go into full screen mode. And now that I'm in full screen mode, you can click the little clock down here to go to motion and sound triggered events. And clicking any of the events will bring you to a page that will begin playing it right in your web browser. What's nice about Chrome and Edge is that you can actually do picture-in-picture of both live and pre-recorded video. Let's say I want to multitask on my computer, but I still want to keep an eye on what's going on. I could just right-click, picture-in-picture, and then it places a picture-in-picture window, icon, whatever you want to call it, in the lower right of the screen. And now you can keep an eye on what's going on. You could drag this thing wherever you want. You could resize it. And of course, if you want to go back to the main window, you just click back to tab, and there you have it. What's nice is that having the app installed, you can just click the download icon and it will save the video directly to the photo gallery on your phone. Here are the two videos. I could click them just like a video that I recorded directly on my iPhone. And there's audio, and everything plays back perfectly. The way I currently have the phone set up, my iPhone's notification settings for the Wyze app, is to group all of the events by app. Otherwise, you're going to have just a bunch of separate entries in here filling up your notification area. And of course, you can then click it and view all of the different motion events that it's detected. See, there we go. It just had another motion event, and it's popping up the banner here. You could, of course, turn that off if you like, as it may get a bit overwhelming if you're trying to multitask. Yep, see, there we go. Sound detected. And it's just going to keep popping up because, while watching in real time right now, we have a very busy bird. The video quality output of the Wyze OG is rather impressive. Now, that isn't to say that it's flawless. There are times where the low video bitrate, even of the 720p HD video it puts out, does suffer a bit from compression artifacting, and the audio certainly could stand a bit of an improvement or two. But these are all minor nitpicks that can most certainly be overlooked, given again the price that this camera sells for being less than $30. Unfortunately, getting back to the whole impetus behind this project of getting this Wyze OG, I can't say there's a happy ending for our robin family once nature takes its course and a blue jay catches on. I am even considering getting another one or two of these cameras. The only problem is it must have been on closeout at Home Depot, which is why it was so cheap, because I haven't been able to find them ever since buying this one. Now they've gone ahead and cycled out and refreshed their stock to the newer and more expensive Wyze cameras, but for me, the Wyze OG is more than adequate.